Looking back at the Wildcats' win yesterday, BCU won in overtime against Howard University on the road, 92-87. The Cats are 2-0 in the conference, 7-9 on the year. It was your second consecutive comeback win. Is that the new recipe for success, Coach?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the new recipe, but we definitely like the end result of both those, and that's how the MEAC is going to play all 16 games. We talk to our guys about just having a chance to win in the last 5 minutes, and fortunately for the last two games, our guys have come out and found a way to get stops down the stretch, and that's how you find a way to go 2-0.
Unlike the South Carolina State game, I mean, the offense really didn't have a good run until the final 2.5 minutes of the ball game. And over the past minute 30, BCU scored the final 6 points. What changed with your offense's execution?
Well, we didn't have that major spurt that we maybe had against South Carolina State, but I thought we were fairly consistent. I think we shot 45% from the field and 39 from three, which are good numbers on the road. So I think we were more stable and more consistent throughout the game. There just wasn't that explosive spurt. And then like I said, is last 5 minutes you just want to give your players a chance to make plays, and fortunately our guys made some big shots and knocked down free throws and grabbed extra stick back rebounds. So great job by those guys.
So the game was not streamed last night. There weren't any live stats. So we did have the radio call, but can you take our fans through the final play that sent us into overtime?
I can. As we were just talking a little bit earlier, we're down two with 36 seconds to go, and we've got to make a decision. Are we going to foul, or are we going to, try to get a stop and play for try to make them not score, and then we've got to go down and get a bucket. Our initial plan was to try to get the ball out of R.J. Cole's hands and foul one of their guys that we didn't believe was as good a free throw shooter. But we weren't able to do that at that point, and we decided to just play the entire possession and forced them to take a bad shot. And the last 6 seconds, I think they called a timeout with 9.6 seconds to go, and we're down two, and they inbound it, and they got a decent look at the rim. We were fortunate where Isaiah Bailey grabbed a big two-handed rebound, kicked it up to Sufi, and Sufi goes two bounces, lobs it up to Trez. And the finish from Sean Trez was one of the more dramatic finishes to tie the game. And then ultimately, obviously, he missed the free throw to put it into overtime. But we found a way to get it done in overtime. So great last 36 seconds. Obviously, we're happy the way it ended.
What was the team's momentum and emotions during the timeout from the end of regulation going into overtime?
Well, I think that's been our message this whole last 2 weeks is stay the course, and we're not going to allow anything we can't control affect us. And our guys were very, very solid throughout the game. Even when they made their run, we're down 8 with 3 minutes to go. You didn't see a lot of panic from our guys. You saw guys that just looked and said, hey, we've been here before. How are we going to get this thing accomplished? And the last 36 seconds, I mean, guys were glued in. They knew what we had to do, and they executed it.
In overtime, Howard didn't make a single field goal. As a matter of fact, the Bison missed all 6 of their shots, 3 from beyond the arc. They did score 5 of 6 at the free throw line. What clicked on defense? Well, what was the defensive game plan in OT?
Well, it was defensive game plan in overtime, and then also, really the last 3 or 4 minutes. We were trying all night, but we were really trying to find a way to get the ball out of those two guys' hands that I think combined for 62 points.
Mm-hmm.
62 points on the night. So we were just trying to get it out of Williams and Cole's hands, and we utilized a little zone defense, and I think it really allowed them. We never allowed them to get back into a rhythm, and I think that was really the main thing going down the stretch.
How impressive was the play of R.J. Cole with 32 and C.J. Williams with 30?
Well, we were talking about it today on the bus, and R.J. Cole's as good of a guard we've seen this year, and that counts conference, non-conference, going all the way across the country. He's really special. And then obviously Williams can put the ball in the bucket. So those two guys were phenomenal, and I'll just be honest with you, they're not a whole lot of fun to guard and game plan for. So two great players, and they're going to be tough.
21 points, 13 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds for Soufiane Diakite. Was this his best game of the year, Coach?
Yeah, I think statistically it was. And what's crazy about Sufi is, last night he had 21 and 13, but he's that productive every night. Maybe not statistically, but when you have hustle stats and things that we chart, deflections, he's just as good. I mean, he's as solid of a contributor as we have. So happy to see for him that the statistics were there in terms of points and rebounds. But he was tremendous last night, and he's just been so solid for us this year.
I know you and your coaching staff challenged the team following the road trip out to Washington, Kennesaw, and South Florida, heading into MEAC play. Do you feel like that paid dividends with the edge and hustle stats, 20 offensive rebounds to 10 for Howard, 25 second chance points to 12 for the Bison?
I think so. But at the same time, knowing as we've got 7 new guys that we're trying to integrate into a system, and so I think you're going to see more consistency here in this spring. But I definitely know that was a focus over the break, and I think our guys are really bought into playing a style of basketball that will translate on the road. So hopefully we can continue that, and we got a great test tomorrow night against Maryland Eastern Shore, and we're just looking forward to it.
What can you tell us about Maryland Eastern Shore, tomorrow's opponent? 7:30 tip in Princess Anne, Maryland.
Well, we know Maryland Eastern Shore is they're 1-1 in the league. Obviously, their only loss was at Morgan, where they were up 18 in the second half. Very, very tough at home. I think 4-0 at home, I believe, and they're good. I mean, they're going to be well coached, and they're going to do everything they can to protect that home court. So look forward to getting to practice tonight and figuring out a way to try to sneak another one on the road.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.